All right, good morning to our class here. And what I wanted to do is make this video for you to help you with the homework, but also to show you the application or a good way to approach, in my mind, cash flow budgeting. I think this is one of the most important parts of the class, so it's hopefully something you can get through. So to give you an example, I'm going to go ahead and work through this today for you. Now, I'm going to move kind of fast, knowing that you can stop this and kind of pause and take a look. But hopefully you've already watched the video. The video outlines what a cash flow budget is all about, which basically it was about organizing cash in and out on some times of the year. Months is probably a good one for most people. Quarterly could be good. But stepping out how the money comes in and comes out. And the first thing you got to make sure in your business is that it cash flows. If it can't cash flow, you really got a bigger problem than profit. So cash flow, in fact, is one of the number one causes for businesses to go under, is they lack the ability to get cash and have cash and keep enough cash to sustain whatever it is they want to do. So cash flow budgeting is super important. So you went over the video, hopefully, and watched that and took some notes. And you can kind of see how it works a little bit. You got this cash flow budget, and that information allows you to create the income statement and the balance sheet. Well, we'll look at that later. What I want to make sure is, do you know how to put together the cash flow budget? This is also going to be a little bit of a tutorial in Microsoft Excel, which is the tool you need to use to get this done. So I'm going to go over how to get this done, an example that you have also as a homework. You can kind of see the steps. Hopefully I get everything right and it works. And I'm going to try to go fast through here to show you all the pieces, but I'm also going to be showing you some steps in Excel, things you can use and how you should use Excel. So I'm going to get out of the way here and let's take a look. All right, so you've got your business plan here. This is a projection of cash needed to look at profits for a business expansion of a hog feeder slab. The project is to develop the new financials of this hog feeder slab, and to do that, we're going to start off with a 12-month cash flow budget. Then we're going to go to an income statement and a balance sheet to make sure we have all this correct. The design needs to have the ability to change head numbers. We're not sure of the head numbers. We think we have an idea, but we need to make sure that our cash flow budget allows us to edit it. Costs are determined from the cost per pound of gain on the variable cost side. Fixed costs are listed. The gain is 160 pounds on the pigs. They are brought in at 100 pounds and they move out at 260. Let's see here. Number sold is 90 days to get that done. We're assuming no death loss. So what they bring in 90 days gets sold and the money's collected as you sell. Beginning cash is $2 million from investors to get this rolling, plus $10 million in assets provided by other investors to get this rolling. Now, when I do cash flow budgets, I like to break things up a bit because they can get messy. You wouldn't really have instructions, but you might have something that explains what the business is all about in a big text box is what I have here. The resource page is where I try to bring in all the variables that I know or look to know. These variables are going to help me calculate everything else, and so I call it the resource page. You can see I've got my cash from investors up here. There's really no organization to this other than I have everything in groups. All my costs are listed here, and I have what the cost per gain is, and every pound of gain is 28 cents, and those are the categories that the money is spent in. It's the same every month, so I didn't really do that monthly. However, on income, I also looked at when the timing happened. So I started in January, went to December. You could start at any month. I put in here some things I need to know, like when are the finished pigs shipped out? And that's going to be fed in January, February, shipped out in March. Let's see, they gained 160 pounds. I purchased the pigs in January, not February, not March, but purchased the new set in April, again quarterly. So I'm just laying out the timing. I have a little formula here. I just put equals whatever we said we shipped out in March is what we have in January. And then equals whatever that is there. So if you did come to this sheet and you're like, let's start off with 15,000 pigs, that would automatically change a lot of the things that's linked to. So the idea when you develop a spreadsheet is to try to use links in different places to help yourself out. But the resource page is basically all the information you need. I do have a factor in for death here, and I put in 0 for now. We might alter that later. I put in the price per pound in the month that we sell them at 60 cents. and then I put in the sale weight, and I put in the sale by. And I went ahead and calculated every quarter these pigs are going to gain about 53.33 pounds every month. And so that's important for me to use. So I just lay out that. I also came down here and laid out the fixed cost. I plugged in depreciation to help us get going. I plugged in some machine repair that happens all in July. We've got some upfront things we're going to do. We're going to put in a new feed system. We're going to put cash down of $15,000 and $80,000 to build the barn. $100,000 financed and $800,000 financed on the building. So you're looking at an $880,000. Added those two together, $880,000 building. You're looking at a $115,000 feed system. Looks like we've got some debt that we've encumbered here, and so that's from this borrowing. $80,000 is the interest we'll pay in year one in December, and principal is what we'll put down on that loan. Purchase of the pigs is 40 cents a pound. They're bought at 100 pounds, and so basically just knowing the information is $40 a pig when you buy them. All right, so here we are with our resource page. This is the information we need. Now, I start off with a revenue and expense page just to organize things in incomes and expenses, kind of get me going here. So let's start writing some formulas. All right, cash sales is going to be January. What did we sell? Well, we know the answer is 0, but let's go do a formula. All right, so all formulas in Excel start with equals. Every other thing that you type in means something. If you type in an 8, then that's an 8. If you type in some letters, those are letters. If you type in equals, Excel is waiting on you to build a formula, some kind of a rationale here. All right, so what is it going to be? Well, I'm going to leave this sheet, and I'm going to go over to the resource page, because in January, we ship this number of pigs out, so it's 0. And let's multiply it times, what do we multiply it times? That number of pigs. Let's see, let me think about this. I'm going to go ahead and put a multiplication in there, and then a bracket here, because we're going to sell that many pigs shipped out times, let's see, what do they weigh? Their weight's right there, so there's the weight. Again, in January, that's nothing. And I could just do the multiplication for the price, which is right here also, so I can put in that right there. All right, hit enter. I think that should give me a 0. What's nice about this, once you write the formula, my revenue and expense sheet is organized by the months. So if you go here and take this and choose copy, you can paste it all the way across these cells, and the formulas pick up the right numbers in the months that happen, and that's a quick way. Another way to do this formula is to click on the cell. Once you write it, you can see the small little box on the bottom corner. If you slide your mouse over that, it turns into a plus, a dark plus. You can just drag it across, and that is copy and paste all in one function. All right, so there's my sales. All right, expenses. I've got them organized here. It looks like I've got the variables in. You see those are all links. You can see here at the top, those are links to the other sheet. And those are all looking like they are right. And so I've added purchase of feeder pigs in there that wasn't part of that sheet. So here we go. Let's write this formula for expenses. Equals, go to the resource page. Let's see here, equals. I have got pigs on hand, 25,000 pigs. Let's see here. Each pig's going to be gaining. I need to do let me do a parentheses here, or do a multiplication. And then I'll say that each of those pigs is gaining 53.33 pounds, which is got a cost on it of, let me go back to the revenue and expense sheet. It's right there. Yep. And that is there. Let me close my parentheses and hit enter. So it looks like that my formula has got all the number of pigs, 25,000, times each pig gains 53.33 pounds, and that costs you that amount of money per pound. If you multiply that up, that's $184,000. Now, formula-wise, when I copy and paste this one, I have some things that I want to change, and I have some things I don't want to change. Let's go back and look at those. On the resource page on G10, that is right there at G10. I don't care if that changes. That can change all the way down. I want it to. Problem is, though, when I copy this down, I don't want that to change. So if I put I always got to think about this. If I put a $ in front of the G, that means that, back up. If I put a $ in front of the 10, that means when I move across the rows, the G becomes HIJK, and that's perfect. The $ causes whatever is next to it to not change. It like locks it. So when I go down, the 10 won't become an 11, a 12, and a 13 because that is just the volume of pigs. So I think that one's good. On the resource page, F14. Let's see. Let's hit enter there. What is F14? F14 is that thing right there. Now, I don't want that to go anywhere. I don't want it to go change. I don't want it to change when I go down, and I don't want it to change when I go across. That's a set value. So to lock that one, I put a $ in front of the F and in front of the 14, and that won't let that change. All right, revenue and expense sheet, that's this number right here I'm looking at to my left. As I move across the columns, I don't want that to change. But as I move down the rows, I do want that to change because that goes to a whole other thing. All right, I got that formula written. So if I copy all the way across, it ought to be consistent, right? Because we have the same exact number of pigs. If I copy this all the way down, then I get my different values, and we can kind of test that right quick. If I double click on any of these, there's that 3 cents it's using, and it's using H10 and F14. And so H10 is, if I go back over here to the other sheet, H10 is the next month of February for pigs on hand, which is what we wanted for February. All right, so plus these are all consistent because our volume's exactly the same. Nothing really changes, so that helps us here. All right, that's how you write those formulas. Machine repair, these are pretty easy. Machine repair was all in July, I think. I didn't really have this as a timing thing. Let's see here. I go back to the resource page, and that was down here, I think. Machine repair all in July. Done. Let's see here. Principal and interest, those were done in December. So I'm on the principal row equals, let's go down here to principal or loan right there. Interest is right below it. Those could have been organized a little better, but we still going to get them one at a time. Got it. Depreciation, that all happens in December is when we recognize that, I think, based on our stuff here. And that was right there at $750. All right, let's see here. The next part is cash down for assets. So right up front in January for the feed system, we've got down of that, and since the other one's right below it, I just bring that down, and there's the 80,000. So these really aren't 15,000, 80,000. They are links to whatever that data is in the resource page. All right, let's see here. I've got the loans figured in, and so let's see here. I had a current total asset value equals, in January, we have assets here at the top from investors of $10 million. And so that kind of helps us get going in our business. All right, so the resource page is where you really have your notes of what things you think will cost and organized in a way that might help you. Revenue and expense sheet just brings in the revenues and the expenses and all of the main categories. And I just do that to bring in the data organized how I need it in the cash flow budget, but maybe just kind of in a different format to help me out. It's a step that maybe is not needed for everybody. All right, now cash flow. Here we go. And this is very much like, again, the video that you had to watch. So hopefully you took notes on that and kind of have an idea of where we're headed. Let's just start filling this out. All right, in January, beginning cash equals that we ended up with some investors that helped us get going with this. $2 million is what we start with. Oh, wait, sorry. Beginning cash from investors is right there. So beginning cash actually would be then 0. Additional investor money means we needed more investor money, and we did not have any right now at this point. And then sale of pigs equals, let's just go over the revenue expense sheet. We have it right there in January. We can put that, and then we can start running these across to fill in the rest of the months. Let's see here. All right, cash available is equals, and I'm just going to do a sum. So that's a lot of formulas in Excel are automatically figured out for you. Equal sum is one of those. If you start out with equal sum, you just say, I want to sum that, hold the shift key down, and I want to sum all the way here. Hit enter, and it says $2 million. Drag that all the way across, and that is what we have for the money available. Now you can notice here when I drug this across, I drug this all the way even in the total. In sales, I stopped in December because total is looking at a total of all of these across the left. We'll do that last. It's kind of a strategy to check your work. All right, feed. Feed, purchase of pigs, medication, supplies. That order right there is the same order I built on my expense sheet. So I think I'm in good shape for most of the part. I just hit equals, go over to revenue expense sheet, and we are feeding pigs. And that's what it's going to take. We're going to go all the way down to salaries, and then we're going to go all the way across to December. And that brings in all of that stuff. Machine repair was a deal that happened only in July. So equals, go grab that. And that was one of those odd things I put somewhere else right there. And that was July. Okay, let's see here. If I go back to that revenue expense sheet, you know what I could do, be smarter, would be on machine repair. Let's start at January. I do have that in order here, machine repair there. And then I'll just bring in a link all the way across. And that will drop in the July. But in case we added some later, that would catch those. All right, total. When you're looking at your Excel sheet, you can just write equal sum, or right up here, there are some auto things that are easy to grab. Averages and sum. I'm going to hit sum. It automatically looks above you and tries to find all the sales it thinks to add up. So it's a faster way to do that. There it is. Bring that all the way across. And now I have got that cell. All right, assets. What do we got to pay? Well, let's see here. Revenue and expense sheet. I think I had that organized. I did. And so let's start off with, what does it start off with? Debt payment interest. So debt payment interest is going to be that column right there, or that cell. So I'm going to press equals. Go grab that cell. Interest. I should have put these in a different order. That's that one. What about principal? Equals. Go grab the principal January. Perfect. I've already got machine repair taken down. What about down for assets? Equals for the feed system. It's there. And for the building, it is there as well. Perfect. All right, so grab all of those, drag them all the way across. They're all in order. There's where the, looks like the principal and interest came into play. That's perfect. And cash outflows, once again, auto sum, grab it there. That gets that total there, drag it across there, brings them all together, and net cash flow. I've already had a formula here written. I shouldn't have had that written already there. Let's just write that. Equals, what is our cash available minus what is our outflows for the operations minus what are the outflows we need for assets. So you're going to start out with 2 million and end there, and then I'm going to take that formula and drag it all the way across. And it looks like we've got some problems to overcome, because it looks like in February we spend quite a bit of money, but I think I see a problem in our formula. I just now noticed it. We don't buy feeder pigs every month, so I have made myself a mistake right here. Let's go look at my formula. It looks like that my purchase of feeder pigs is kind of based like I'm feeding the pigs, so I need to redo that formula because I'm only buying these every so often. So let's do this again. Equals, let's go to the resource page and let's look at, I think I have a line for purchased pigs. I do. That is the number of pigs we were going to purchase times the price and the quantity, what the weight is, or price and the volume. So we're going to be buying those pigs at, that's also another place, 100 pounds. And we're going to be buying them, multiplication, and I'm going to go ahead and use this 40 cents right there I have on that sheet. All right, now, so we are going to spend $1 million in the very beginning. That's kind of what we had before, I think. So let's look at some of these formulas here. Now G9, as it moves down the columns or across the columns, I want it to go to the next cell because those are zeros and the new volume comes in. The resource page, I don't want that to change. That is that 100 pounds. I want that to stay stuck right there. And then the revenue and expense sheet for purchase of pigs, I don't want that to change as I go across. So I want to make sure the B stays B. It doesn't go to C and D and E. All right, hit enter. And I think I fixed that formula. So we're across here. And there we go. So it looks like you're buying those pigs now at the right time. Now what's nice is I just fixed this on the resource page. Remember that, the revenue expense page, that's my data source for what I'm putting together. If I go to my cash flow, that automatically updated that there as well. All right, so if I come across here, it looks like I am still short on cash. And let's calculate that again. Let's see, I am buying equals 25,000 pigs that weigh 100 pounds. Whoop, and I'm paying 40 cents a pound on those. Is that $1 million? And the answer is yes, it is. Okay, so that is $1 million. All right, so there is our cash flow budget situation. Looks like to me we start out able to get this done. We go lose right away. We don't have any income coming in. We finally sell some pigs and brings money back in. Then we're back short again, but you can see that we just keep going on like that. And so we really can't operate with that kind of a situation, but we'll deal with that later in our next assignment. Let's go ahead and check our work here. Now what the total column does for you in a cash flow budget, it's like balancing your checkbook every month. At the end of July, that's what we look like. End of September, that's what we look like. October, November, December, every month. If you balance it for the whole year, then the answer should be the same as in December. So let's go through and check our work here. All right, so equals, what did we say we began with? That cell right there. How much did we get from investors? Well, in this case, we could actually sum because we could get more money all the time, but we are going to check that out. But let's go ahead and just do a total here. So I can do equals sum, or remember I can go up here to the auto sum and it tries to figure out what I want and it doesn't know. So I'm going to come across here and I want to highlight all of that. So that's of course $2 million. Now that we've done that, what additional money do we get? Nothing. What do we sell of pigs? I'm going to kind of get rid of that cell because that's meaningless. Let me expand that a bit. Your columns here can be expanded. If you have stuff like this, that means your numbers are too big now. If you just go between these two columns and double click, it automatically widens it for the width you need. So we're selling 15.6 worth of pigs. Got 2 million we started with. That's 17.6. All right, let's come down here to the next one. I can do an auto sum. This time it knows there's cells there, so it grabs them. It gets them all, it looks like. Hit enter, and then really just bring that down because those are all expenses that we have all year long. Now I've got a formula here that looks at our total outflows of cash. It was December though, it was just looking at. If I bring that formula across, there it is again, totaling the year. I can come down here to this one and just do the same auto sum. It knows that there are cells there with data, so it grabs them. That's the right group. Copy, paste, bring it down. This formula here totals that stuff up. Bring that over there. And all right, we have got a problem. I have got something incorrect through this whole spreadsheet. Reason why I do is this number and this number should be exactly the same. And the fact that they're not makes me feel like I have got a problem across here that I need to figure out what it is. And I'm not sure what it is yet, but we need to look. Let's see here. Not sure if all of these got counted correctly. One thing I might do here is, I don't think these look too conspicuous. Let me just take a difference between the two. It's 5.3 million. What is it missing here? I'm going to leave that there so I can see it. I don't see anything that totals 5.3 anywhere. 5.320. Let's see here. My $1 million on pigs was a one-time thing. My sale of pigs looks to be the right. January, February, March, June, September, December. It looks right. Oh, what did I forget? I forgot something very important. Beginning cash. In February, you don't start with 0. In February, you hit equals and you start with whatever you ended in January with. Now I've got money. There we go, to float that. Every month, it's the same deal. So I'm going to bring that all the way to December. And that means that you end with 5,320,000, and that's what you begin December with. And so you end with finally the 8 million, and now it balances. All right, there we go. All right, so there is how you do a cash flow budget using these revenue, expense, and resource page sheets. And then, of course, the instructions are here. So the homework is designed for you to replicate this yourself. I've shown you how to do it. I've shown you some tricks and the formulas. So hopefully it's something you can do. Give it a shot, and we will take a look more at this. We're also going to change this homework up a bit. So it's important to get this one set for yourself as the base, and then we're going to start changing this, as a lot of times you're looking at cash flow budgets. You come up with what you think the idea is, and then you have to modify it because things change or you come up with better estimates. But anyway, first thing is to get this base started. You can kind of see what the answers are. Good luck. Hope this helps. Thanks.